YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're getting into a very important question, and I don't know if it's important just because I felt differently about this in the past than I do now in the present day, or if it's just an important question that's surrounding Celtics Nation lately. There's been a lot of talk on Twitter, coming from people on his side, coming from people on the team side, that Karl-Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Timberwolves is not happy where he is right now. And honestly, as someone that has been constantly wanting the Celtics to go out there and get Karl-Anthony Towns, could this be a time in which it's more possible than ever to go and trade for this dude? Now, I'll say first and foremost, Karl-Anthony Towns, I think, is such a unique player. He's one of those guys that you think, oh my god, he's been in the league for forever, and you look at and he's still only 25 years old. He's a walking 25 and 10 plus type of player. He is legitimately the superstar of superstars. Karl-Anthony Towns is an amazing player. The question that I want to get into today is, would I trade Jaylen Brown in a trade package for Karl-Anthony Towns? Before we get into that, guys, make sure to hit the subscribe button and like the video, and then comment down below, would you trade Jaylen Brown for Karl-Anthony Towns? So like I already mentioned, the reason why this is such an important question to me is because I've felt differently about this in the past. When I say past, I honestly mean probably 6 months ago. There's probably clips of me on the Celtics live post-game show. By the way, we go live right here on the channel. I know we have a lot of new subscribers. We go live here after every single Celtics game. We talk Celtics. I answer all chat. I read all the comments. So make sure to tune in after every single Celtics game here on the channel. Set those post notifications too so you get notified when we go live. So there's probably so many clips of me saying that, yeah, I would trade anybody for Karl-Anthony Towns short of Jason Tatum, right? I would trade Jaylen Brown in a heartbeat for Karl-Anthony Towns. But something sort of has come over me recently that may make me backpedal on this. Now, I'm still sort of on the fence in the sense of, if the Celtics were to trade Jaylen Brown in any sort of picks or any sort of package to make the money work, whatever it is, if they were to trade Jaylen Brown in some way, shape, or form to get Karl-Anthony Towns, I'll be completely honest, and this is probably going to ruffle feathers of Jaylen Brown fans, it would not make me lose sleep at night. I would be okay with it. I think that is one name, and I think there's a pretty damn short list of names that I would be okay with that. Bradley Beal and Damian Lillard, I don't even know if I'm okay with Jaylen Brown in a trade talk for those guys. But Karl-Anthony Towns, I'm okay with. Now, keep that word okay in mind, because what I'm saying is I would sleep all right if they were to go and make that deal, right? If they're to do something that, Jaylen Brown's the most substantial piece that they give up in a trade, and in turn they're getting Karl-Anthony Towns with a commitment to stay here and he wants to build with Jason Tatum, yada, 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 I'm okay with that. But me saying I'm okay with that is different than me saying, hey, I'm on board with that, let's shop it around, let's go do that. So again, to tie it all back to what I'm saying, in the past, I've always said, yep, go do it. Easy, easy, easy. I'm down to just shop Jaylen Brown. Let's see what else we can give with Jaylen Brown for Karl-Anthony Towns, right? I'm not going to lie, guys. In the past few weeks, I don't know what it is, whatever, months, I've started to think long and hard about this, and it's definitely sort of floated to the top of my mind since seeing all these reports about Karl-Anthony Towns being a malcontent and whatnot now. Because if we were to flash back and look at his career, that hasn't really been something that's been part of his makeup, right? He hasn't been a guy that speaks out and says he's, not content with what's going on in Minnesota. He's always sort of been the guy that, oh, is he going to get traded? Is he not? Is he going to get traded? Is he not? But he's not necessarily going out of his way to say, hey, trade me, like a lot of NBA players do. Now the fact that, they get rid of some management and get rid of some front office personnel, and all of a sudden it starts leaking out from Karl-Anthony Towns' side that he really seems to be done with this team, it put it to the forefront of my mind. Could Karl-Anthony Towns be a Celtic in the near future? And then, alongside that sort of statement is, well, what would it even take? And you're crazy if you think you're getting Karl-Anthony Towns without giving up Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. Now, I think we all know Jason Tatum is absolutely untouchable. I've said Jaylen Brown's untouchable unless it's an extremely amazing offer before. But Karl-Anthony Towns has always floated in that sort of discussion of, I've said it before, I would trade Jaylen Brown for Karl-Anthony Towns. But I've kind of backflipped on that. I'm against that now. And as I've started to think about it, as I've started to look into it, I go down, I guess, 3 paths here, and I'll take you down each of those as to why I no longer will trade Jaylen Brown for Karl-Anthony Towns. First and foremost, I think you'd have to give up Jaylen Brown and then some for Karl-Anthony Towns. Now, I'm not talking money or anything like that. I'm just talking the value in the trade here. Minnesota is going to think they have all the leverage in the world, and if the Celtics truly wanted Karl-Anthony Towns, they'd have to give up Jaylen Brown, who is arguably their best player. Now, I know we know it's Jason Tatum, but 99 out, Jason Tatum is the second best player to Jaylen Brown, right? Like Jaylen Brown can be the best player for the Celtics any night. That's so true. But the Timberwolves are going to say, you know, we're giving you the superstar here. Karl-Anthony Towns is 1,000,000% more of a superstar name than Jaylen Brown in this league. So that's sort of the first point that turns me off from this trade, is that you'd have to give up Jaylen Brown and a first-round pick, or Jaylen Brown and a young guy. However you want to make the money work. You guys know that I am nowhere near being the Celtics accountant. I'm so bad at NBA money and NBA finances. Just using value as the example here. Jaylen Brown and then some to get Karl-Anthony Towns, that's already an immediate sort of turnoff for me. And that's a new revelation in the last few months or so. Next up is, I don't know if this is simple. I don't know if Karl-Anthony Towns would fit as well as Jaylen Brown might. Now, I know, pump the brakes here, right? You're like, oh my God, Jason Tatum's a small forward. He needs that sort of big man with him. It'd be a perfect 2-man game, blah, blah, blah. But when you think about it, this Celtics team, if you look at the construction of their team, they are set to be an amazing transition, run and gun team. Jason Tatum can get the ball. Jaylen Brown can get the ball. They can go flying. They have guards now that can run the floor, play defense, make a steal, cause a turnover, and get going and scoring in transition. That isn't how I picture Karl-Anthony Towns. So while maybe Jason Tatum and Karl-Anthony Towns could be a really good 2-man duo type of thing, I think that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown have more of a likelihood of taking the league by storm, running in transition, sort of being able to play off of one another, both being wing players, so on and so forth. So I think that honestly is an advantage that Jaylen Brown has over Karl-Anthony Towns. But the big reason as to why I don't want to do this trade anymore, and it's sort of what I fall back on as to why this is my reason as to why I'm now going back on my word and saying I would not trade Jaylen Brown for Karl-Anthony Towns, is there's nothing saying that Jaylen Brown isn't going to be a better NBA player than Karl-Anthony Towns. I know. That might be crazy because Karl-Anthony Towns is filthy. And right now, he's the better player than Jaylen Brown. Mixing in the fact that you'd have to give up more than you're getting in terms of value and in terms of assets, and the fact that I really have started to think long and hard about this year's team. Don't think you throwing in a 7-footer, even if he can stretch the floor, or even if he can handle the ball. I don't think that that's the key to getting to the next level. I don't think that those things, plus the fact that Jaylen Brown genuinely could just be a better NBA player when it's all said and done than Karl-Anthony Towns, I'm off on the trade. I am. And again, I will preface this, and I will sort of give the caveat that if they were to do this trade, I'm not going to be that up in arms about it, but I'm no longer thinking we have to get Karl-Anthony Towns. We'll get him at all costs. He's the key to the Celtics championship. No. I think the key to the Celtics championship is someone that you add alongside Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, not someone that you subtract one of them and add someone for. Like, I think that you add someone alongside Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, that's the keys to the championship. It's not a matter of going and moving one of your stars for a superstar, because that star that you might be moving in Jaylen Brown a year from now could be a household consensus superstar. That's what I got for you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I understand that that's a totally opinionated opinion. Like, there's not any sort of metric base or anything like that going into this. I'm down to let the Jaylen Brown sort of experiment and Jaylen Brown Celtics tenure play out to see what we can get, because he's such a potential filled player. So that's where I stand with it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hit that subscribe button and like the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.